Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Savage Angel podcast. I've got the most amazing, most incredible person on the planet here with me, Mr. Mike Hewett. I have to plug him. He has got almost 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Almost there. We're not quite there in 11 months now, Mike?
Yeah, we're hoping to hit 100 by the end of this month.
I know we will. Like, you're on fires. So, Mike, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, where you're located, and then we'll dive in.
Okay, so I'm in Utah in the metropolitan area of Salt Lake, and I've been a general contractor for 35 years. I've built a lot of new homes. I built 4 homes in what we call the Parade of Homes here, and 3 of them won Best of Show and People's Choice. So I've done a lot of nice big custom homes. The largest house I built was 12,000 square feet.
Woo!
But I'm doing mostly remodeling right now, and there's a real need for good remodelers because property is so expensive and people are deciding to stay home and make their house better. And so we've been like crazy busy. So I do a lot of remodelings, bathrooms, basements, kitchens, main floors, upstairs, additions, all that kind of stuff. And in the process of doing that, I thought, I should document what I do and show people what can be done. And so I created this YouTube channel, and in the YouTube channel, we show what a project looks like when we get started. And then we do some progress videos and show what it looks like when we're all done. And I always tell people at the end of my video how much it cost because
That's
people want to
true.
know.
Yeah.
I want to, and the other thing I try to show them is what was the original price and what was the final price. You hear so many horror stories out there with people and their contractors where they were quoted a certain price, but then by the time it's done, they spent tens of thousands of dollars more than what they intended or what they were told. And you'll see on any of my videos that the gap between the original price and the final price is very small. And usually it's all customer driven. They decide to add something or change something or do something different. And so I guess people like them because I have a lot of subscribers.
They do love your videos. So one of my favorite of all time of your videos was I think you have 2 of them, your kitchen remodels.
Yeah, I love doing kitchens. I love transforming kitchens. I do all the design work and everything. And I have great guys working for me and great subs that I use. My cabinet guy is incredible. And yeah, some of our most popular videos are kitchens. We did 2 different 5 kitchen medleys a couple months ago, and people watched the whole thing almost. It was
Yeah.
great.
Well, it's like, it's so interesting. I don't know if you do this. So I know Mike's wife Angie, she's wonderful and she's a gem. So I'm just going to share, like, when my husband and I are like, hanging out at night, we're getting ready to go to the bed, like we're scrolling. I don't know if you and Angie do that too, but I'm like the queen of that. I'm always looking for like really great information on in my niche, marketing, sales, and AI. But I also like to look at homes, remodels. Like, that's the thing my husband and I are both interested in. So I could see why people would stop there. Like, I bought a house in 2018, and what are we, like 7, 8 years in? And I'm like, I'm ready for a new kitchen.
Yeah. Well,
So
things change, and the way they used to do things, it was the cheapest way they could do it,
yeah.
not the best way they could do it. And so we've made some crazy transitions. There's one of my videos that's called the Bear House, and that transition that we did the whole main floor, main areas remodel, and it turned out amazing. I mean, it was so cool. But I love doing it. I love seeing the finished product, and people invite me over for barbecues and to share their kitchen with us and all the guys that worked on it because they're so happy with the
Well, that's
change.
really cool. There was one thing that you do in some of your kitchens. It's almost like a microwave that is under the cabinet. Do you know what I'm
Under the
talking about?
counter?
Yeah,
Under the
I'm under
counter?
it. Sorry, not the cabinet, under the counter.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So the problem is that, most of us in our kitchens, we have the microwave over the range, right?
Right, right,
Because because it was better to put it there than set it on the counter and take up valuable counter space.
right.
So that's where that was created. But a lot of times people are tired of having the microwave there. They want a decorative hood. They want a hood that looks good, that is going to make their kitchen, show off their kitchen.
Yeah.
And so if you do that, then the question becomes, where does the microwave go? And one option is to put it in like a pantry cabinet, like above the oven or something like that, and built in that way. But a more popular option these days is to do drawer microwave. Now, I did this probably 20 plus years ago. I remodeled a kitchen, maybe even 25 years ago. And back then they didn't have drawer microwaves. So we put a microwave below the counter because we wanted the decorative hood. But it was just a regular microwave, the same one you would put on a counter. And I literally hated it because in order to put stuff in, I had to program it and get stuff out. I had to get down on my knees.
Wow.
And and so it was terrible. But when they came out with these drawer microwaves, it opened up a whole plethora of options for us in design. Most of these microwaves now, you push a button, it opens, and you can put your stuff down in it. And some of them even have a, a panel on it that's angled so that you can look straight down at it
Yes.
without having to, stoop down to look at it. They're the best invention ever. I love them. They're kind of pricey, but countertop space is at a premium. And if you want your kitchen to look awesome, you need a fancy hood. And
Well,
so I love.
that's the thing. I want one for my new kitchen whenever I decide on that. Right now, I'm still bugging my husband to buy me a little dog that I really want, and so we're looking for one. But maybe the microwave will be the next thing. So we'll see. We'll see. So Mike,
You just have to get your priorities straight,
I
Angela.
know, I know. So Mike, tell us a little bit about if you were thinking of remodeling your home. What are the best areas to remodel and in what priority, right? If you just want something fresh, you've lived there a long time, you just, you know, especially
So I
women,
think,
we're always looking for something new and
well, it's all about the impression that you make, right? When you have a party or friends over or whatever. And so I think the best place to start is the kitchen and the main areas of your main floor. Most kitchens remodels that we do leak into the family room, the entryway and down the hallway because you can't change the flooring in the kitchen without it. It's like a domino, right? You kind of keep going. And so we do a lot of remodels like that. When we're done, I mean, you have people walk in the door and they're shocked. They don't even know they were remodeling their kitchen because we do it pretty fast, and they're just shocked at the difference and how light and bright it is. I was in a home today that we did a pre-demo video on Monday, and today's Wednesday, and we're ready for sheetrock, which means I got all the new lighting in, and the contrast between the original video and the progress video with the lighting is amazing. So because lighting was not a thing for a long time. And so you have living rooms and family rooms that don't even have lights in them. You have to plug something in and it's tied to a switch. So I put a lot of can lights in and that really makes a big difference. The next place would be the bathroom, I should say. We do a lot of master suite remodels where we'll take two rooms and a bathroom and combine them into a master suite, which gives you a much nicer bathroom than what you had, walk-in closet, and bigger master bedroom and stuff like that. And those are really fun to do as well.
really like that, which sort of leads me into a topic that you and I've been talking about, and that's, real estate investing for a variety of different reasons, right? I mean, some are fix and flips, some are rentals, some could be Airbnb. I mean, whatever long term holds. Can you share a little bit about your journey there? Because I know that been doing that for a long time, and you and Angie are doing some really cool things around that right now.
So we love real estate investing, and I've been, a lot of people. We're part of a real estate community. In fact, you're part of that same community,
That's true.
Angela. And we get together, we have meetings once a week, we rub shoulders, we network, and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times people will say, "Well, I've done 15 real estate transactions," and I always tell them, I says, "Well, I have no idea how many I've done because I've been doing it for 35 years, right? I've done spec homes, which are ground up, a home that you build to sell it, and which is a very similar to a fix and flip. But there's real estate is so amazing because anybody can do it. A lot of people have this mental block that I want to be a real estate investor, but I have no money, no time, I can't do it. That's really well, the answer to that is nope, that's not true. And let me tell you about this project that Angie and I just finished. It's a fix and flip home in a city in the Salt Lake area. And the people that were living there, they lived there for 2 years without power and hot water. I mean, they had
Wow.
gas and the stuff was new, it was like 4 or 5 years old, but they didn't want to pay the gas bill.
Are you
And
kidding me?
no, I am
Okay,
kidding.
wait,
I can't
wait,
make
wait,
this
wait.
stuff up, you know?
How much is how much is a gas bill in Salt Lake City?
It's not that much. It's not that big a deal. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, but we got in there and fired them up, and they worked great. We added air conditioning to the main house unit. This one has an ADU, but just in quick round numbers, I want to tell you a few things about this project because if you're thinking about being a real estate investor, go for it. We bought this house not using any of our own money, not using any of our own credit. We didn't put any money down and funded the whole thing between a hard money lender and some private uh, equity partners and investors. And so it was amazing. We had all the money to purchase it and to rehab it and get it ready back on market. So it took us 6 months because this house was a slog. It was built in 1954. And every time I turned around, there was stuff that I wasn't planning on that I had to take care of. Fortunately, we had enough room in the difference between what we could sell it for and what we bought it for. We put it on the market. I don't remember the dates, but let me do it this way. We put it on the market and it sold in 13 days. And they actually offered us 1,000 more than what we were asking.
Wow.
And that same day we got a second offer. And then now we have that offer we signed, the first offer we signed, or actually it was the second offer that we signed. And we now have a backup offer as well because, if these people don't close, we have a backup offer that's better than the one that we signed. It's crazy. But it's just crazy to me because the average days on the market right now in the Salt Lake market, when you list a home to the time you sell it, it's about 60 to 70 days.
Wow.
We sold it at 13. Yeah, our real estate agent says, "Hey, Mike and Angie, go find some more of those."
No, that's awesome, Mike. So tell us if we can go over to something you mentioned. You said that you have investors, and I know you have someone that you work closely with that will fund part of the transaction, right? Like he'll put some of the
Yes,
money down. Can you share a little bit about him and how he does this? I think it's pretty cool.
it is amazing. First off, let me pose the question. Have you ever thought about buying real estate with a credit card?
Like, to me, like, when you say that, I'm just like, "What the heck?" Like, I've always well, that just doesn't go together.
Yeah, so that's the point. What you don't know, right?
Right.
And so our community, we teach real estate investing, and there are so many different ways you can invest in real estate. I made a few notes, but do you know that you can be in a real estate investor without buying real estate?
Okay,
And that's
so this
so
is
cool.
this is so freaking cool. Get your notes out, let's share everything because I'm telling you, this podcast interview is so juicy, and I'm gonna say this to the audience, our AI that, helps us with this podcast, it cuts it up into these little things called magic clips, and we're gonna put them everywhere because I love that sentence. Have you ever thought about buying real estate with a credit card? Bam! That's a
Yeah.
hook.
So
I
let me
love
show
it.
you. Let me kind of tell you. Let's
Okay.
use this project that Angie and I just did. The purchase price was 278,000, which was a good deal.
Yes.
We have a hard money lender that is a company called Boomerang Capital, and I think it's Capital. Anyways, the guy there helped us out, and they loaned us 85% of the purchase price, plus 100% of the rehab cost. So what we had to come up with was the difference between the purchase price and the rehab costs and how much money they were going to give us. Okay. So we get 100% rehab and 85% of the purchase. So there's a gap, right, between what you need to close and also carry that property till you can sell it. And so what we needed about 80,000 capital to cover not only the 15% that Boomerang wasn't taking care of, our hard money lender, but also we needed to cover the carrying costs, like, your power bills, your monthly interest payments, things like that. Insurance, you have to have insurance on the property. And so, um, to our community, our real estate community, Angie sent it out, and kind of put it out there. Within 10 minutes, we had the $80,000. And so we were able to close like within 10 days on this project. The person that put the $80,000 in is actually the guy that we're talking about, using credit cards to fund our deals, because he wanted to show everybody in our community, this is how you can do it. And so we got $80,000 from him, and it all came from 0% interest credit cards. So that money's not costing him anything to give to us. And yet in the 6 months time, he'll make between $20 and $25,000 on that $80,000. Now, is that a good return or not? Are you getting that
That's
kind of
fab
money anywhere else?
I mean, hello. So listen, I just have to put a plug, Mike. If someone wants to learn how to do that, I'm gonna have all Mike's information below this episode, so you can go reach out to Mike and he can connect you with this gentleman. I just think
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
yeah. I actually prepared a QR code, but for you. But
Well, I'll
anyways,
take that too.
so let's talk about that for a sec. Let's talk about that $80,000
Yeah.
or that 0% interest funding. If you have decent credit and you don't have high balances on whatever card you have right now, you can qualify for this funding. And it costs you $1 to apply. And it's a soft pull on your credit. And if you don't know what that means, is if you have a hard pull, like you're going for a car loan or something, or a mortgage loan or something, it hits your credit pretty hard and usually dings your credit and drops it down. I did it the other day, and my credit dropped like 20 points, but and it can even drop more than that. But so this is a soft pull. What it means is that I like to describe it as parting the blinds on a window and looking in the window, but without opening it, right? So they can see what they need to see without actually um, dinging your credit, right? Or doing a hard pull on your credit. And from the information that you give them and that they can see that way, then they can make you an offer and say, with your situation, we can offer you $20,000 to $30,000, or I've seen as much as $100,000 in 0% interest funding. And so it's awesome. 0% is always, or that funding is always 0% interest for anywhere from usually 12 to 18 to 24 months. And so we actually have quite a number of people in our community taking advantage of that and have become money lenders with other real estate investors that are buying property. And so that's one way to be a real estate investor without actually buying real estate, but your investment is secured by real estate. You can either do a notice of interest or a second, or the way we typically do it is we create an LLC and we give that investor 50% ownership in that LLC, or whatever percentage we're working with. And then the LLC owns the house. And so when the house gets sold and closed, the money goes into that LLC and then it gets distributed to the partners. And so there's so many different ways you can skin the cat. But that's what I mean when I say you can buy real estate with a credit card. Or if you're looking at doing a real estate deal and you want to fund it with a hard money lender, you can get the 0% interest funding and take care of the gap with your own 0% interest funding. But you don't need to. There's so many people out there that want to invest in real estate this way. Or second, on another fix and flip we have going right now, we have like 4 or 5 investors that have put money into that project with us. And they're not what we would call equity partners, they're money lenders. So we're paying them a interest rate or something like that. But I want to address one thing, because people always think hard money is too expensive. And it is. I mean, our hard money loan, we paid 12% interest and we paid 1% upfront. So that's like a fee for doing the loan. It's kind of like your origination fee or something like that. But
Okay.
we did it on this project, and we expect to net about between $40,000 and $50,000 on this project. Who cares what the interest rate is? I'm making 40 or $50,000 on this project. So people, this is a mindset thing. This is the way people think. We're all taught that the lower the interest rate, the better, right? Well, or don't pay any interest. I mean, interest is part of what moves the world. And so if I can pay 12% interest for 6 months, which is actually a 12% annualized interest, then I'm going to do it every day, all day long if I'm going to make 40 or 50, 60, $80,000 at the end of that deal.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, like buying real estate with a credit card. It's
Yes.
amazing how far we've come, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so in a few minutes, you can follow the link and put in your information. There's no effect on your credit score. Why not find out what you qualify? What the heck? Why not find out? Because
Right.
it might change your life.
Absolutely. Well, it definitely can change your life. I mean, look at your life now. I mean, you do so many fix and flips, you invest in real estate. I think you guys even have an Airbnb, don't you?
We have one in our basement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's a good point to bring up too. Most people think to do an Airbnb, you have to own the property you're renting. An Airbnb, by the way, is the actual term is short-term rental. But we all use Airbnb because it was like the original big
Right.
term that everybody used, but it's really short-term rental. And it's kind of like Scotch tape. Scotch tape is a brand name. It's really
Right.
sellable, So, anyways, but you can actually, there's a thing, and I think it's called lease arbitrage. Angie would be better at telling you this, but you can actually go work out a deal with an apartment complex and lease an apartment and then turn around and turn it into an Airbnb. You have to furnish it, so you have a little bit of cost there again. You bring in an investor to partner with you that provide the funds, and then you're into Airbnb without any of your own money. And the nice thing you're doing with that is you're adding all the complex benefits like a sport court, tennis court, racquetball court, or not racquetball. What's the new one? I can't remember the name of.
Well,
I
there's
don't play
pig
it.
chicken and pickle. I don't know. I see that all the time now.
There's a swimming pool, and a weight
Yeah.
room and stuff like that. And actually, more and more apartment complexes are liking this because usually, as you as the owner of the lease and leasing it as a short term rental, you're taking better care of that apartment than almost anybody else in the complex. And so when you give it back to them, it looks great because you need to keep it looking good
Right.
for
Right.
your tenants. So yeah, so that's just a little small thing. There's so much you can learn, and it's all about education. Most of us are so afraid to jump into real estate investing. It's because of what we don't know. And I almost every person I talk to wants to be a real estate investor, but what keeps them from doing it is I don't know how to do it. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. And so those things are easily overcome. In fact, part of the community that we're in, Angela, you can actually we have education that's available that on any subject, on any real estate strategy, and also on how to own a business, how to create a business, how to save on taxes, and all kinds of stuff. And it's amazing. And they're all taught by people that are practitioners in the industry that they're teaching about. I mean,
I
there's a guy
love
that does fix and flips, and he does so many. I mean, he's done hundreds of them. And there's guys that talk about tax strategies, and that's what they do every day, all day. That's how they make their living. It's not just some guy getting up and reading some bullet points that doesn't have any idea what he's talking about.
Mike, you are a plethora of information. I love talking to you. I love this whole thing about, you know, investing in real estate with credit cards. I love your YouTube channel. I love your microwaves that you do. Like there's just so much cool stuff.
Should we
So,
talk
is there
about my podcast that we're just getting off the
Well,
ground?
that's true. Let's talk about your podcast, right? I love the intro of your podcast, by the way. I think it's so cool. So tell us a little more about why you're doing this podcast, because I think that, that's very important. There's a lot of podcasts out there, but why are you doing it and what is so different about yours?
Well, I think that so first off, there's two of us on the podcast. It's myself and Mitch. And Mitch is the guy that we do the gap funding through. He's also the guy that invested with us in that fix and flip. And he and I have known each other for quite a few years, and we used to travel around the country doing real estate investing workshops. And he would be with me to help people apply and get funding through gap funding and with the 0% interest cards. And so we've gotten to know each other in this process really well over the years. So we named our podcast Hard Hats and High Limits because we want to talk about the boots on the ground, investing in real estate, buying real estate, and the construction side of it as well, because
Yep,
I know a little bit about that. And then Mitch is going to talk about how you fund real estate and credit with credit cards. And then we'll talk about other options. We'll have people from different industries, and we'll probably have our hard money lender come in and be a guest on our show. We'll turn around and have you as a guest on our show. But it's awesome, right? I'm really excited to do it. We both wear hard hats during our interview, and we speak into full microphones that I made out of galvanized pipe.
that's so cool. It's so
We're gonna
fun.
have fun with it. We're gonna have a Q&A at the end of each session, and so people can call right in there, send in their questions, and we'll answer them at the end of each of our podcasts. So we're about ready to upload the first one. It hasn't uploaded yet, but
A
probably
couple,
by next week we'll do it.
yeah.
So we're excited about that.
Well, it's really exciting. I'm really excited to see how your subscribers on YouTube take to your podcast. It's gonna be really fun to watch. It's really fun, and I love the idea of people being able to write in, and get their questions answered live. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
if we'll be able to do it live. It probably depends on how the podcast grows because we'll
Yeah.
mostly record them at first. So that's why we want them to send in their questions, and then we'll add them to the end of the next podcast. Uh, Maybe if everybody listens, maybe we'll do some live podcasts as
I
well.
think
But
it'd be
it'll
really
be
fun.
interesting to see. I posted on my channel with 100,000 subscribers to see what kind of response we get. But we have fun with it. I want it to be fun, but I also want it to be informative, and I want to help people get out of the rat race that they're in. Get out
Yeah,
of the
and
mode that they're in and change their position, right? Because there's so many times we're just doing the same thing over and over. In fact, if you've ever read the book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talks about the rat race and how we get stuck in that rat race and we can't get out of it. And he has actually created a board game called Cash Flow that is all about getting out of the rat race and real estate investing, business management, business investing, and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
well, don't you guys play the cash flow sometimes at some of your meetings?
Yeah, several times a month, we invite people to just come play cash bowl with us, and we'll have anywhere from 4 to 6 board games going at a time. And people learn so much from that. It's the only game you'll ever play where you actually learn something that helps you to become better financially, make better decisions. It's crazy.
I mean, you're just a plethora of information, like I said. You're so fun to talk to. I am so excited about all your stuff, your 100,000 subscribers, this new way of investing in real estate. Well, it might not be new, but it's new for a lot of
Most people don't
people.
know about it.
Yeah, people don't know about it. Your podcast that's coming out, all of your investments. I mean, you are a trove of information, and I love this. And so I think people are going to absolutely love this episode. So, is there any last bits of wisdom, advice, anything, Mike, you'd like to share before we sign off?
I guess I would like to tell people that, if you thought about real estate investing and you would like to do that, you need to reach out to us because we can help you get on the right path and get going. Either Angela or I. I mean, either way. I mean, there's a right way to get this started. So many people get in without knowing what they're doing and get burned. Don't be one of those people. Learn how to do it the right way. And we can help you walk through that step by step and come up with the right way to do real estate investing and actually make money at it and create generational wealth.
100%. And I think, just putting a plug out there for Angie, Mike's wife, she's incredibly knowledgeable about all of this. So if you're looking for a team, a person that's a woman that is a leader, she is fantastic. So I don't know, what would you say? Your partner in crime, your partner
Oh,
in
I'm telling
life.
you, we work so well
I know
together.
you.
Before I met her, uh, years ago, she used to run a women's real estate investing club. and she did really well with it. She had a lot of members, and they would meet once a month. And then her one of her first real estate deals, she bought a um, I think it's an 18 unit apartment complex, and wholesaled it and made $90,000.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, we need
So
to have her on next time
yeah,
too.
you do. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All
Yeah,
right,
we need to
Mike.
have her on my podcast,
Yes.
but she's the one behind the camera, so I got to figure out how to make that happen.
Well, maybe you buy one of those, one of these tripod things and that has a clicker, right? That starts a few minutes later, and then you
Yeah,
guys can do your podcast episode. So how
yeah,
fun
we'll
is
figure
that?
it out. Yeah,
Well, Mike, it has been my pleasure. Thank you so much. And for those of you listening, you can get his information. It will either be at the bottom of this episode or it might be on the side, depending on where you're viewing it. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you so much. It's been my pleasure.
thank you for having me. It was
You're
fun.
welcome.